Hello, my name is Gabe Zolna. I was at a Tea Party meeting last night. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I didn't talk about this particular point that Mike Zulu, who was the guest speaker, brought up. And the term that he explained was a term I hadn't heard before in the contents that he had made us aware of, and the term's called gaslighting. Now, what he said was, when you think about it, it makes a whole lot of sense. The media, as we all know, has not been our friend, nor have they been on our side. And what gaslighting is it's a technique that this government employed through the media and through their own actions, whereby you begin to question yourself. And the examples that he used made a whole lot of sense. Like when Janet Napolitano, you know, Homeland Security, when she got up and said that the borders are safer than ever. Now, for people living in Arizona, we know that's not true. But for somebody living on the East Coast, well, why would they not believe it to be true? And what tends to happen is that people begin questioning themselves. Well, is it true? Well, things seem to be better. I guess it must be true. Another example is when you take a look at the economy. When they start telling us that the economy is improving, although our own personal situation might not be improving, we'd like to believe that it might be improving for others. So then we begin to question ourselves on that aspect as well. The most obvious is unemployment. When the government comes up with their numbers and they tell us that you know, it's gone down, it's 7.8%, because no president's ever been elected when it's above that, then we have no reason not to believe them. But when the real figure is made available, we don't necessarily believe that either, because it's probably in excess of 23%, 24%. But they don't talk about that because a lot of people that have given up, they drop off. Well, how can they drop off? They're still people. It doesn't make any sense. Excuse me, but that's what gaslighting is when we start questioning ourselves and we begin to wonder if what we thought was true based on what we believe to be true is in fact true. That's a technique that this administration and the majority of our media, that's what they use to create the confusion in our own minds. And what tends to happen is we tend to get along and we sort of go along when normally we might not do either one. Does that make any sense? Well, think about it. It's pretty scary. But the technique does work. And I know I've questioned myself on certain issues as well. Well, is it really that bad? It can't be that bad. Well, you know what? It's actually worse. So be aware of it. And try to think of situations that you yourself began to question what you thought to be true to no longer be true. Yeah. That's what they do. They play with our minds. Remember, the 3 Ds: divert, distract, to do what? Come on, you know. To deceive. That's what this administration is all about. Will they ever be found out? I sure hope so. But I don't think anything's going to happen on February the 15th, other than they're going to decide that, well, you know, he's been inaugurated, he's our president. And they're going to throw Orly Tate's case out the way other judges have thrown it out. Nobody cares about what's real. They don't care. You know, and that's again a technique. Divert, distract, and deceive. God bless America.